All right, well, we're only a few weeks into the new school year, but things can get real stressful real quick for a lot of students.
Yeah, according to the National Institutes of Health, more than half of students experience academic burnout. Previous studies have found a link between burnout, dropping out, and other mental health issues. Dr. Alison Mitzner is a New York City pediatrician and the author of Calm and Confident Parenting. That seems like an oxymoron.
Says the person with no kids.
Exactly. She joins us right now with some tips to prevent some burnout from getting out of control. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So what would you say are some reasons that students are getting burnout, especially at a younger age?
Yeah. And we're seeing it at a younger age and going into middle school and high school. And there's academic overload, there's lots more classwork, homework assignments. Also, it's the higher demand. Some kids just fly by school in the lower ages and don't really have to try as hard. And as the increased demand, they start to struggle in areas that they might not have had to before. And then there's the pressure from peers or parents that they want them to excel. And perfectionism. We're seeing an increase in perfectionism, even in the higher grades and especially high school. And so they're getting pressure not from the outside alone, but also putting on themselves, setting these higher standards to excel. So then they also have this fear of failure. What's going to happen if we don't meet these expectations? So all of this combined really impacts.
So a lot. What would you say are some of the telltale signs for parents and students to watch out for?
There's stress and anxiety that gets to them, but you'll see a lack of motivation. They might have a drop in performance. Their grades might start to drop when they used to be really good. They might procrastinate with homework or assignments, if at all, that they get them in. And then you start to see kids really with the emotional exhaustion. That's what burnout is. They're fatigued, overwhelmed, irritable, frustrated.
You just described me this week.
Adults can be burnt out too,
Exactly.
without a doubt.
What are some of the ways you suggest that parents kind of combat this?
There's a lot. I think the first thing to do is really make sure that they can limit that perfectionism the best you can. Let them know, they're doing their best. That's hard to say for some kids, but then you really want to have them break up their work in parts. Try not to do everything all at once because it's just too overwhelming and daunting. And try and take dedicated breaks. Work with them to set a schedule, a routine. Take breaks that are outside of their academics. Engage in hobbies that they love to do that are non-academic. And always ask for help. There's teachers, counselors in the school, parents, and sometimes just having that connection can help them feel a lot less isolated while they're feeling really stressed and burnt.
Is this just a reflection of today's society, or were we having these same issues back in the 70s, or are we just snowflakes now?
Well, I mean, both. I think it definitely, you could see with the numbers, it's definitely increasing, and there's a lot more kids that have stress and anxiety, and it's just building and building. And I think that with social media and everything, they're not just getting pressure at home, but really with people they know and that they don't know.
I recently did a story with a school that has implemented a therapy dog in the schools for younger kids.
Oh, wow.
And they said that it really helped them with learning and kids coping with their emotions and things like that. What do you suggest a parent do if they still want to push their child to succeed but not to a limit?
Right, to eliminate the pressure. That's always the struggle and the balance. You want them to know that it's not the end result all the time to be perfect, but it's the efforts along the way. So I find just acknowledging the efforts, praise them for small things throughout the day. Even if you do this daily, that really, really helps with self-confidence. And you also never want to compare them to friends or siblings. That's the worst. Some might be in gifting programs, some not, and that just adds to the pressure that they have.
Dr. Mitzner, thank you very much. Really appreciate you joining us today with those tips.